What drives someone to change the world? Welcome to Social Trailblazers, where we seek to answer just that question. Join Kelly Hernandez, CEO of Nonprofit Marketing Nerds, as she interviews leading social innovators and nonprofit changemakers. This podcast is brought to you by DonorBox, the easiest way for nonprofits to rock their online donations.
I started from the bottom, and now I kind of worked my way up through various supports and administrators giving me the autonomy to learn and grow. Either you're going to be a part of the change for the better, or you're going to continue to be caught up in the same old mundane situation. You need an encourager. You need people that motivate you. You need people that have been where you're trying to go. So mentors and all of those people that really can wrap their arms around you and push you to maximize your potential, right? When I leave this earth, I have three things I want people to remember me as, and it's being impactful, transforming, and really inspiring.
Ashley, I am so excited to have you here today, and thank you so much for being a social trailblazer. Excited to pick your brain a little. I'd love to start. I know you have a long career in education, but that's actually not what I think you probably thought you were going to do with your life, correct?
Correct. So I went to school actually for business. So I actually have a MBA. And so I like to say that while I have my MBA, I am very much so enjoying my time playing in the educational field, trying to make a difference.
Yeah. And you say played, it's been a long, and I would say like also, as an outsider watching your career, like a rapid growth, which means you really are making a lot of impact and people see it. So what's your current role?
I am the Executive Director of Strategic Planning and Innovative Programs for DPS. I've been with DPS 11 and a half years. I didn't start in this role, but it has been a wonderful journey. I like to say started from the bottom, and now I kind of worked my way up through various supports and administrators giving me the autonomy to learn and grow.
And I will say, for listeners that are maybe not in Illinois or not in Decatur, Illinois, you can hear, so Decatur, Illinois is known for industry, and you could have, if you're listening closely in the background, you can hear some of the trains probably right now. So awesome. So I know that you really did, and there are always a lot of collaborators, and for people that know you, one of your biggest strengths is not just being a collaborator, but really spearheading collaboration. And I know you personally played a key role with the Prep Academy. Can you talk a little bit more about what that is?
Absolutely. So the Prep Academy was really born out of our district's strategic plan in 2017, 2018 school year. And basically out of that strategic plan, the stakeholders made up of that committee and or subcommittee said, hey, if we really want to have a shot at transforming our district, taking it from its current state to its futuristic state, a program like the Prep Academy would really make DPS unique. And so in my role as the executive director, supporting the district strategic plan, supporting the superintendent as the superintendent supports the board, I was really the one that got to spearhead this program. And so I started a conversation with Richland Community College, and I just said, hey, this is the idea. We would like for our students to be able to graduate with an associate's degree simultaneously when they graduate with their high school diploma. And so after a little bit over a year of collaborating, working together with Richland, our district's teaching and learning department, our high school administrators, we were able to launch the Prep Academy. And so I'm very excited about this program. Our first cohort of over 25 students will graduate in May of 2025 with their high school diploma and their Associates of Arts from Richland Community College free of cost. So we really wanted to create a foundation of non-negotiables, right? Giving early access, creating access, removing barriers of things like costs and having to worry about books and transportation. We wanted to create an entire program full of support. So we have mentors that are part of the Students Village. We take them on college field trips for more exposure. So I'm super excited about the first cohort. And right now we have 4 cohorts of around 170 students that are enrolled in this program.
Wow. And the not the goal, the outcome is an associate's degree and a high school diploma at the same time.
Same time.
Free of cost.
See what our kids cannot do. They can rise to the occasion.
Awesome. Oh, that's amazing. And I think you kind of glossed over this a little, and I want to really highlight, as a nonprofit nerd, one of my biggest frustrations with strategic plans, especially, I mean, you're at a school district.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are big, massive entities with lots of players and people and stakeholders. And you had a strategic plan that had what I would call a lofty goal. And within a year, that lofty goal became a reality. Like, props to the team, right? And you. So for listeners that are maybe like, wow, how did she make that happen? Or how did they make that happen? Do you have any quick advice for like collaboration or taking a plan to action?
Absolutely. So really just look at your current challenges, have the reality of its current state, and dream big. And with dreaming big, create an action plan and bring the people to the table. When I reached out to Richland, they came to the table. And was it easy? No. But we all wanted the end goal for students in our district that make up our community, right? And so when you come to the table, be open-minded and be more about removing barriers and creating solutions than what has worked in the past, or creating more heartache or bringing down the group. Just come and think outside of the box for what you are working toward, and always keep the end result in mind.
Yeah, and I love that advice, especially you always, which is something I really admire about you, you always even approach some of the, what I would call most negative things in the most positive light. But, removing barriers, that sometimes those barriers in collaboration are internal and our mindset and our, right. And I assume everything wasn't easy. And one of the things you were very good at is getting people to the table, even when they don't want to be, or even when it didn't work last time. Can you give some of the, Ashley Grayned secret sauce on maybe some of your persistence or strategies to make collaboration work?
I think it's exactly that, Kelly. Staying persistent, keeping the end goal in mind, and knowing that it's what's best for our students. And we talk a lot about a strong community and a strong society. And our youth are really we're creating a foundation for our youth to thrive, right? If we want a healthy community, and that transfers into a stronger society and less crime and more thriving and all of the things that us adults bicker and have disagreements about, then we really must come to the table and come up with solutions to provide additional pathways. So the biggest thing is just coming to the table and having respect, whether you agree to disagree or whatever the case may be, but either you're going to be a part of the change for the better, or you're going to continue to be caught up in the same old mundane situation.
This episode is brought to you by DonorBox, the online fundraising platform that streamlines your process, elevates your donations, and ensures a user-friendly experience for your supporters. Explore the world of simplified, seamless fundraising at DonorBox.org today.
Full confession that for listeners especially, as I do know Ashley, I think as a human first, and I was trying to figure out when did we first connect? And I know I know that I know some of your family members, and I'm like, was that how? And I actually think the first time you and I connected was in a women mastermind, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, on the table.
Yeah, and it was a decade ago, and you and I both didn't know what we were getting into, right? And we're like, sure.
Sounds good. Women empowering women, building my village, my network. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. And I think it was, I mean, we're here, I think 10 years later, I don't know how, like 8, 10, something like that.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You were still working. You hadn't even branched out yet. So it's been that long. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's probably a decade then. Oh, wow. Wild. I'm trying to think. Do you remember what your role was at DPS at that time?
At that time, I believe I was still under the extended learning coordinator.
Yeah.
So my role has really developed from the time I came in. It was really summer programming, some after school type of things, all the way to working with the superintendent on the strategic plan, creating career paths and opportunities for our students, even our staff. So a lot can happen in 11 and a half years.
Yeah, I heard it was 11 and a half years. Yeah. So, you've used the term community a couple times in a couple different ways. You talked about your community as a whole. That is actually, you and I are both, I'm currently based in Decatur, Illinois. So are you, and that's our community. But I think you, really do a great job of bringing together community, and community can mean different things. Why is community important to you?
Community is important, whether it's in your personal or professional life, to me, because we're better together. Life is life, right? And I just feel like I'm a big village person, right? Surround yourself with the people you want to be like, the people that motivate you, the people that encourage you. So that had really translated to me in the programs that I create for our students, because we can't do it by ourselves, right? You need an encourager. You need people that motivate you. You need people that have been where you're trying to go. So mentored, all of those people that really can wrap their arms around you and push you to maximize your potential, right? And so when I talk about community, it's both personally and professionally for me. And so that bodes very well in what I try to do with our programming at DPS, creating those support systems, right? So that if somebody sees you tripping and stumbling, they can catch you before you fall, right? Looking for a hand up, not a hand out. There's a big difference. And we all started somewhere. So I feel like it's our due diligence to be a community and a support for others around us.
Yeah. And I know for a lot of, and I hate to say, you and I are nonprofit and education sectors. I mean, I don't want to say we're pessimists, but sometimes we like to stay in our silos, right? Like that's what they do that over there. It's what we do over here. Yeah. And, you've talked a lot about innovation and community. For administrators maybe that are listening, or executive directors that are listening, that are like, that sounds great for you, Ashley, but we can't make that happen here. What quick tips would you have for someone that maybe is trying to figure out how to collaborate with other entities in their community and can't quite navigate that?
I think you have to start with a conversation, and always keeping the end goal of your current state and what you desire as your future state. And if your future state is different from your current state, then you have to create opportunity for transformation, right? And so when we look at Prep Academy and how it's worked, for example, here, and that's one of probably the other 12 programs that run through my department, innovative program. It doesn't you don't always have to reinvent the wheel, but you have to create opportunities based on your need, your organization, your district, your school. And so therefore it doesn't have to look the same, but we all have challenges, right? And so really it's navigating through the challenges to get to that desired state. If you want your graduation rate to increase, or if you want your profits to increase, or if you want to build culture and understanding, then you sometimes have to do things differently, which involves thinking outside of the box, which involves doing things that maybe make adults uncomfortable or risky, right? But keeping in mind, the greater the risk, oftentimes the greater the reward.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna kind of switch gears a little bit, and I didn't tell you as I was asking this question, but as a friend, as a colleague, as a community supporter, one of the things that I think people think about you, that they're like, how does she do it all? Is you really do, you have such a commitment to fitness. You have such a commitment to family.
Yeah.
I would say, I have a lot of, like I said, I know some of your family members, but like you are a very dedicated friend. And those are difficult things to all be good at the same time. How do you do it?
Kelly, we only have one life to live. And my parents always told me life is short, live it to your best, because you truly don't know when it's your last breath, your last moment, your last second. And so for me, I prioritize what's important. And so for me, faith and family, my wonderful husband, my amazing 2 daughters, my parents, my sister, all of my friends that are a part of my village and community. And I prioritize those things because when I leave this earth, I have 3 things I want people to remember me as, and it's being impactful, transforming, and really inspiring. And so I align everything I do back to my core foundation. And if it doesn't align, then it may not get the priority in my life at that moment, right? So for me, fitness, it's a non-negotiable, which is why I get up at 4 a.m. 4 or 5 days a week, because that's mental health, right? For me, when I exercise, it allows me to feel better. And when I'm better, I can be more present in my personal life, my professional life, and different things like that. So I feel like you have to have a firm foundation and then align everything you are doing back to that. Otherwise, we're pulled in a million different directions. And a lot of times we're spinning our wheels.
Nonprofit and association leaders, I've got a secret weapon for you. Imagine sitting down for just 30 minutes, yes, 30, and walking away with a treasure chest of marketing gold. Polished videos, scroll-stopping reels, compelling blogs, and share-worthy social posts. That's the Content Lab, where our team of marketing nerds transforms your mission into magic. You bring your expertise, and we'll handle the rest. Ready to feel like a marketing wizard? Visit nonprofit-nerd.com and check out the Content Lab. Type discount 200 at checkout to grab your $200 discount. Limited time only. Catch you in the lab. The Content Lab.
Well, wow. I'm going to continue to watch and learn from you. And one of the notes from this, actually, that I don't think I have like a very succinct personal mission statement. I was like, wow, you could just say these are the 3 words that are your guiding words. I'm like, oh, I should probably do that. So thank you for this mini coaching session.
You are welcome.
I have to confess, and again, I know you, but one of the things I did in prep for this conversation is ask around a little bit and be like, how would you describe Ashley, especially the people that have worked with you? And a lot of people use something that I would reduce to change agent, right? That like when you sit at the table, things change, things get done. You used, that transformation is one of your guiding principles. Tell me a little bit about, there's a lot of different ways and a lot of different changes. What's one of the changes that you've been able to make that you're most proud of? And maybe especially in your job at an institutional level?
For me, coming in as a non-educator in the educational world has been both challenging but rewarding. And so when you're coming in and as an innovator, and your job description is to create opportunities and career pathways, that means being creative and doing things a little bit differently. And sometimes that comes with challenges. And so for me to have had the ability to develop and implement and sustain programs in this community in our district has been one of my greatest rewards. Being able to call our biggest partners in the community all the way down to mom and pops for internship and partnering opportunities for our students is rewarding. Being able to be known as, a change agent or somebody that collaborates, somebody that is forward thinking, somebody that ultimately just wants to do what's best for our youth, right? That's just rewarding. And I sleep well at night. It doesn't mean it hasn't come with bumps and bruises. I haven't done everything right. I've learned along the way on, continuous improvement for myself as well. But to be able to be 11 and a half years in when I graduated as a business major, thinking I'd be in a big corporation doing something different, it's been rewarding to see the sustainability of what I've been able to do and continue to expand.
Yeah. And, I know you've done a lot of amazing work at Decatur Public Schools. And I know that you are, starting to actually, I hope it's okay to say, coming alongside other organizations and school districts to help them to be that change agent. What are you most excited about with that work?
I'm excited about the possibility of just being able to take what I feel are some of my greatest strengths and offer them of service to other districts, and other organizations. It's not that what I do is so shiny and it's never been done and those types of things, but I do feel like it's unique in what I've been able to accomplish. And I want to ultimately make the world a better place. So I don't want to just leave that to DPS, right? And so if I can offer advice or service or provide my expertise to other districts or organizations so that they can implement different things and strategies and processes for their students and their staff, then that's what I want to do, because it's all about impact, right? And so I'm ready to have a greater impact even beyond DPS and the work I do here.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being a social trailblazer, for all the work you've done and will continue to do in the future. If listeners want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Absolutely. The easiest way is by email, and that is ashley@graynedconsulting.com.
Awesome. We will drop in the notes. Thank you again so much for your time, Ashley.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for tuning in to Social Trailblazers. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who are passionate about making a difference. Special thanks to our sponsor, Donor Box, for supporting this podcast and the incredible work of nonprofits everywhere. Join us next time as we continue to dive deep into the motivations of the change makers shaping our world. Until then, keep trailblazing.